And he's the person that I personally felt, not physically, but most emotionally attracted to on the jury because he owned it. Everyone else was still in that phase where they were kind of like not sure what happened. But Jason, you really, when I got to the jury roundtable, you knew what was going on, and I think you had more just clarity than anyone else.
Well, I appreciate that because that would have been the only time in the game I would have known what was going on. I always thought like I knew what was going on, but I don't know about clarity, so to speak, I guess. But I was just trying to decipher the fact that what had happened to me and what, kind of maybe what was about to happen throughout the game. So I don't know. I guess I'm not answering the exact question correctly, I guess.
Well, no, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just like I felt like some people were still sort of filtering through those feelings, and you were like, you know what, I got swindled, it sucks.
Yeah.
And I think you said something that was the most poignant thing I've ever heard in my 5 years of hosting the jury roundtable, which is, I said everybody lies, and that was kind of my point, which is like, listen, you can't judge people for lying because everyone lies. And you said, yeah, but there's a line. And I said, I thought it was going to be the end of the conversation. I thought I was going to hit you with this big line. I go, yeah, but who determines that line? Meaning nobody. And you said, we do.
Yeah, and
you did.
Yeah, we did. We did absolutely determine what. And I mean, and you're right. Everybody does lie, and it's hypocritical to think that everybody doesn't lie. And it's almost impossible not to lie inside there because there are points where you are absolutely not allowed to tell what you're trying to do, especially in a head of household situation. So yeah, lying absolutely is a part of that game. But this is even hypocritical, but it's the degree of a lie, I guess, that kind of pulls at your heartstrings.
You guys really, you were really just verbose about how malicious Paul was. And that was what sort of turned you off at the end, because I think we can agree that he played a long game, obviously not the best game because he didn't have great jury management, but some things he did turned you guys off.
Well, the thing that turned me off the most about Paul, because I'm telling you, I was like I was a huge fan of Paul. Like, I mean, as a human. I mean, I didn't really know him. I didn't watch that much of the season. I knew he was on season 18, you know what I mean? And I watched him do the Dizzy Dog thing, but I didn't really know that much about the guy as a person. But I actually got to like him as a person inside the house. What turned me off about Paul was the fact of the degree of lies that he would go through. Like, he wouldn't just tell you a lie. He would tell you a lie, and then he'd be like, and then bring your friends and your family along too. You know, and then like not show up. So not only did it screw up your night, it screwed up your whole family's night type deal. And I just never understood, well, you could have just lied to me, but why did you have to lie to everybody else, right? So that was what really turned me off about Paul. But I mean, he's a good dude, and he was playing the game, and he did play a heck of a game, but got to watch that jury.
He didn't have good jury management. This is the loudest plane ever. Can we hear that? Is that like a problem? I'm assuming that's a major problem. It's bad. Marcus says we're okay. All right. Marcus said we're good. So were you pleased? You were obviously pleased with the way things shook out tonight.
I mean, I wasn't really pleased. You know what I mean? Because it was a tough decision, honestly. I mean, especially I even liked Paul's speech tonight because we know he broke down the things that he did, but there was holes in it. You know, like he's like, I won the HOH and I won vetoes. Well, you did win the vetoes, but sometimes the vetoes were almost staged in your favor. So. But that's still him playing the game, getting that stuff to iron out. So I was like, you know, he really did do a lot, and you can't take that from him. But it still comes down to how people value the principles of their idea of the game. And to me, my idea of the game is, you know, you just took the lion too far.
And then you had an unlikely pairing with Alex. Like, that was kind of shocking. People didn't really see that coming, and as it sort of grew, it was a pretty powerful relationship. Yeah. When you left, though, you were hurt because you thought she stabbed you in the back.
I absolutely did. And Alex, it was funny. She wanted to pair with me because I was tall, and she thought we could handle competition.
You're like an average person, you and her together.
Yeah, yeah. And so, but I wanted to pair with her because she was like a super fan and like understood the show. And I'm like, you know, I don't really know anything about it, and I don't know what is about to happen. But I could use her brain, and we can use both of our athletic ability and just make a fierce competitive team. But I actually got to where, you know, I really enjoyed Alex. You know, she's a serious competitor on all aspects, all the way around. And it was just It was kind of awesome. I was really glad to have her.
Well, no one could fault you for that because it could have easily been Paul and then you and Alex in the finale. So, I mean, no one. He clearly was, just sort of targeting showmances and dragging one along. Not that Christmas and Paul were together, but I mean, it's nothing wrong with that strategy because it could have gone either way with just the littlest bit of luck.
Right, and it's not such a thing as it's maybe not showmances because Alex and I had like a no-mance. Paul and Paul, he said from the beginning he wasn't going to get into a showmance or really a direct final two with anybody. He was more of a fan of the threesome type because he's like, then we can, and I bought into that big time because me and Alex were a no-mance. We were just partners, going to the end together, and and Paul kind of latched onto that.
He hopped in at the last moment there.
Yeah, and he did, and it took me a little while to really kind of trust him, but then when I did, I was all in, just 100% all in.
Well, it's not just you. He was clearly very good at that. Yeah. What's next for you, Jason? Where do we see things going? What's going on with the career? You have a baby coming soon.
Yeah. You know what? I felt like I was in a really good place in my life prior to the show.
And it ruined it. No, just kidding.
It might have. I don't know. I hope not. But I've been trying really hard to get my rodeo clown thing going and the auction thing going, and those were both taken off, and they were solid. And so I'm really looking forward to hopefully the stage and the exposure of the show just keeps those.
I think you're in a prime position to use this as a springboard, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. How can people follow you on social media?
Whistlenut and Oli. That's Whistlenut and Oli.
You're not going to confuse that because there's only one of those.
That's right. There's only one Whistlenut and Oli. Oli's the bull. I'm Whistlenut. That's my rodeo clown name, stage name, if you have you. Or on WagnerDentAuctions.com for auctioneering. And Facebook, I have Facebook, and I probably have Instagram and all the things now because my buddies probably hooked me up with that while I was in the house.
We don't know how to find him, but you can definitely find him. Jason, it has been a pleasure.
Yeah, same.
Thank you so much for your time. The fans loved you. You're one of the in the top 3 for America's favorite player. And
do we know how that shook out, by the way? Do we know how that shook out?
Very fair question.
Do we have exact votes? Girls.
She looks uncomfortable. It must have been. I'm sure it was close. I'm sure it was close.
They're like, well, your name was there. You got 2 votes, but that's fair enough. Okay, good deal. All right, well, thanks.
Jason, the pleasure's all mine. Thanks so much, buddy. Have a great evening.
You too. Take care.
I'm here with Kevin. He's the best dressed man in the history. Are we live? We are. I'm here with Kevin, where he's the best dressed man in the history of Big Brother. Are these custom suits?
No, these are not custom suits. I have 7 children. I'm lucky to put this together.
You
squeeze together, trust me.
But
you can go with 8 other outfits in the same week. You know what I mean? Pants.
Whatever you're doing a phenomenal job because maybe it's just your body habitus, and I don't know if you can bite off the rack, but you're always the sharpest dressed guy, and I really respect that. In fact, the first thing Kevin said to me on the jury, everyone's there, they want to know who got kicked out, they want to know how it's going to vote. Kevin's like,
nice suit.
Nice suit, thank you. Respect, respect.
You got to put on some nice socks with that suit.
Yeah, I don't wear any socks, you know. Here we go.
I have a couple extra pairs of socks here. I'm going to give you a few pairs. I'm going to send them to you. But actually, my wife and daughter buy my clothes. So.
Oh, they dress you? So it's like my son won best dressed in his kindergarten class. It's like, just give that award to my wife. He didn't. He's 5. He didn't dress himself.
So I don't know. I always dress nice, but my wife and kids get my clothes, so.
They do a great job.
Yeah, thank you. I'll let them know you would like the work they've done.
Absolutely. Who did you vote for tonight in the finale?
I voted for Paul, only because, when we sat at the round table the other night and the hostility, aggressiveness that came out, I didn't think it was fair. I thought the whole game is, the dynamics of the game is who played the best in the game to get where they are. Now, it doesn't say who played the meanest or who played the dirtiest or who played whatever they want to mix it up and say who played the best, and clearly Paul played the best. So that was just my opinion, and I have nothing against Josh. I invited Josh for Thanksgiving to my house. I have no problem with Josh. I like him. He's a good kid. I don't think he played better than Paul this game. I think Paul played the better game.
Yeah, it was clearly close. In fact, it was as close as one single vote. So it could have gone either way with just a little bit of wind in either direction. So it's interesting, though, because when you came to the jury roundtable, you seemed very pro-Paul. Then during the course of the jury...
Yes, they convinced me to go against Paul. Not against him, but they gave me the arguments of why Paul shouldn't win. Let me say that. Then when I spent a couple nights by myself thinking, I just thought let's be fair, man, because everyone's mad that Paul may have eliminated them. He was the HOH where you left, and people have kept, built up tension and built animosity towards him. I don't think that's fair. So I thought if you look at the whole game, from the beginning, the first night Paul came, which was the temptation that I won to get Paul into the game.
Nothing wrong with leaving $25,000.
And I didn't know I won it initially. So, I don't see why you wouldn't vote for the best player. And I thought Paul was the best player.
When did you find out that you won the $25,000?
Okay, this is the true story. So I'm up in the thing and I'm sweating. It's about 104 degrees and I got a three-piece suit on. I came from Boston. No one told me to leave the suits back home. So I go on there and they put you up and press the button, and I go in, and they call me into the DR, and he said, congratulations. I thought he was saying congratulations for being on the show. And I said, thank you. And he said, no, you won the money. And I said, what? And I went out, and Josh said he won. So I went back and said, were there two winners? And he said, no, one winner. So I realized.
But why did you tell everybody?
No, I didn't.
Or why did you tell Paul?
Because when Paul came in, we made an alignment. The only one I actually told was Paul. And it went to 72 days before anyone brought it up.
Yeah, totally fair. It would have been nice to see it go the whole time because I think it undermined, at the very end, I just afraid it undermined your credibility.
100%.
You were the most respectful person the whole time, and then I'm just afraid that.
Well, here's what I'm trying to say, is if I had come out and told everyone, yes, I won, clearly I would have had a target on my back, even more from being the oldest. Right. I would have had a target. So, it was like a catch-22. You win the money, you're excited, you're happy about it, and you can't say nothing. So when they had confronted me in the yard, I just said, no, what am I supposed to say? But if you watch, I actually told Matt in the pool, trying to make him feel good because he was leaving. Right. And then I shook his hand and said, man to man, don't say nothing.
Right.
And he come out and I was like, did you just say something? I was like, where is this guy from? He went and said something.
Yeah.
So I was in a real tight spot. It was just a tiny fib. I don't think it was a complete lie. It was a tiny fib.
Oh, if there's ever a place you can lie, it is right here in the CBS Interactive Facebook Live broadcast. What's next for you, Kevin? What's going on behind the scenes? Give us what's going to happen next week in your world.
I don't know. I'm going to meet I haven't seen my family in 100 days, so I'm going to meet my family. They're out here in L.A., so I can't wait. I'm going to meet my wife and kids, and we'll go from there. I don't know. My kids are older now. My kids are 30 to 17. So, I can do whatever I want, whatever's available. I may hang with you.
Come hang out. I think, CBS.
I have one of these.
We might wear the same size. We might wear the same size.
Is that my flag?
We would make a good team here because we probably wear the same size, and it'll look like I have really nice clothes. And I haven't been to Boston in a long time, so we probably need to do it.
Yeah?
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Seaport District, beautiful.
You need to take me.
Absolutely, anytime.
It's nice to see you, Kevin. I wish you the best. You've been one of my favorite house guests this entire season, and America's as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great evening.